Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and today we are going to forego self-love because there's a few things I want to talk about. Some things that happened over the weekend that really just kind of rattled my cage and really made me kind of do some self exploration, I suppose, or some deep diving into my own psyche. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be our self-love. So tomorrow we'll continue with, I believe, self-love lesson number 25. But today I just want to talk about some things. And I will relay it into, or I will kind of make it fit with the whole self-love theme, because I don't want to get away with that, or get away from that. But I'm angry. I'm angry today. And this is why I can't do the self-love today, because if I'm going to do self-love, I have to be coming from a place where I truly feel it and I truly believe it. I am a person who believes that, post whatever you want on your own page. I tend to shy away from sharing certain types of opinions on people's pages, on people's things, on things people like, or, just their own feelings on things. I don't hate people for their opinions. I don't hate people for their thoughts. Some people with some of their very skewed opinions, and I mean people who are just downright bad people, I might be a little judgy about. And maybe I'll even send up a little, happy thought for them, hoping that they understand and learn to see clearly. But this weekend, I was caught in the crosshairs. And by that I mean political crosshairs. I posted an opinion of my own on my Twitter feed, and someone decided that they were going to comment on it. And so I felt like I had to defend myself and then they finished off with music lyrics. Okay. I hate to break it to you, but music lyrics can fit anything. I mean, REM sang in the 80s, "It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine." But 40 years later, or almost 40 years later, we're still here and we're still breathing. So, my opinion does not always agree with other people's. But I do my homework. I do my own research. I am not affiliated with any particular party. In fact, that's how I'm registered. It used to be non-party partisan. Now it's called no party preference. And the reason that is because the party I left, I couldn't be in it anymore. Not with the direction they were going. And I know a lot of people are tougher than I am and hang in there hoping that it'll turn around and get better. I'm not going to say which one, all right? But I will say this. The reason I'm angry is because the person that started this whole Twitter feud with me is actually a personal friend of mine. And so I texted this person on the side on Saturday, thought we worked out our differences and opinions. So the next day, I get tagged in all kinds of videos claiming certain things are fake. And again, I don't want to make this political. I don't want to make, this into something stupid like it was on Twitter. And next thing I know, I have to defend myself again. Older sibling did jump in because she was pissed. She was mad. And I think the hardest part is that nobody knows, really, that this person and I know each other in person. This is someone I've known for about 20 years. And when I told them enough on a private text message, all I got back was how hot this one guy is. Oh, wow, you should follow him. Hey, give it right back to him because guys like that. I don't want to give something back. I don't want to be the kind of person that has to fight with someone just to make them notice me. That's not me. That's not me anymore. I used to always feel like I had to be right, but now I'm just constantly put on the defensive, and I'm so fucking tired of it. Why am I talking about this instead of doing self-love? Because this is what self-love does. It strengthens our character. It reminds us who we want to be. And it teaches us to get away from all the mean people. To just not say anything. And I will say this. I got mad because this ended up on my timeline. And the person said, well, you didn't have to engage. What in the world is wrong with you? Well, these are the same people I notice engage on other people's things and get into fights with them. But I did tell them, I said, you know what? You're right. I don't know why I did. I said I should have just privately text messaged this person and been done with it. But like I said, when I did privately text message this person again, their excuse was, I'm sorry, I didn't know it would turn into that. I tried to keep it into my own thread. It's like you literally tagged me in somebody else's post on Twitter to make a point that we agreed to disagree on the day before, which is still incorrect, in my opinion. I was called a narcissist. I was called a certain party, a certain derogatory term for a party. Well, maybe not that derogatory. And saying that just like one of them, I don't let other people have their opinion. My opinions were being attacked. I was defending myself. Now, I'm not saying I'm right in this situation because one of the people I was disagreeing with was right. What in the world is wrong with me? In order to keep our self-love, we have to learn to not take the bait. I took the bait. I took the bait against my better judgment. I took the bait against my spidey instincts and probably all of my spirit guides saying, don't do it. But I did it. And I'll tell you, as much as my character was attacked, I'm not a narcissist. I told them to look up the definition and really kind of understand what one is. I'm related to a narcissist. No one in my immediate realm, not my parents, but I know some in my family. And I do hope they're getting help. I know somebody who watches this knows exactly, I know two people who are watching this know exactly who I'm talking about. Narcissistic behavior, that's a trigger for a lot of people. Calling someone a narcissist without using it in the proper term, that can really damage people. I literally turned off my phone yesterday and locked it up in a container that I have. Okay, it's this great container if you want to keep things out of your sight for a while, or it was actually made, I think, for dieting, right? Or maybe to punish a kid by taking away their stuff. And you turn the dial for however long you want it to be locked up. You push the button and it will not unlock for that amount of time. You can't even take the batteries out and it will unlock. Okay? All it will do is make the time longer because you got to figure out how to get the batteries back in. And then it continues on its cycle. So I had to do that yesterday. And I'm still mad. I'm still angry. Sibling has tried to talk me down. I meditated on it for a while and was kind of calmed down. But I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is when we cause issues in people's lives, we have to learn to take accountability for it. But also, when we have self-love, we don't hide behind profiles. All these people that were calling me all these names, if you click on their profile, it's some random picture of one guy had a comic in his and, somebody else had some, but they decided to splash my profile all over that conversation. Face and all. And I don't care. It's social media. Social media has become a dark place. There was a person the other day that was thanking people for birthday wishes and saying, Twitter can be such a dark place, so it was nice to see so much kindness. They actually made fun of the fact that I wanted to punch some light into this world. I did change it because when I thought about it, it's like, yeah, that does sound a little aggressive. So I changed it to shine some light into this world. Why do we have the need to always be right? When I was lacking self-love, and I still lack it a little, I'm still learning right along with you guys. I always had to be right because it was a defense mechanism. I had to be the one who was on top because I never felt like I was. I always felt like I was the bottom of the totem pole, holding everybody else up and being ignored without realizing that without the bottom of the totem pole, everybody else falls down. Right? Someone's got to be the sturdy foundation. And that's what I'm trying to do with this self-love. And that's one of the reasons why I could not do, in the state of mind that I'm in, any self-love lessons today. Because you know what the question is? What are things that you were good at? And I couldn't think of one because I was so hurt. And like I said, all I got was some, barely there apology saying, I'm really sorry. I thought it would be in my time. How would you think that it would stay private between you and me when you tag me in somebody else's post? I'm not sure if they're that naive or what. But it was hurtful. And then their only thing was, oh, I looked up this guy. He's so hot. If I were single, I would go. And, I don't want to give identities away. Okay? I don't. Because this is a friend of mine. But I'm sharing this because I'm angry. Because there was really no accountability taken in what happened yesterday. Good morning, baby sibling. So, this is a lesson we have to take. This is why I did not do a self-love lesson today. If you have nothing nice to say to somebody, keep it to yourself. Keep it to your fucking self. Because I tell you, I'm pissed today. I got in a fight with someone a couple of weeks ago because they started attacking my beliefs. It started out as a conversation, then all of a sudden it became a fight. And it got ugly, and it got mean. And it's like, why is it when I have an opinion, everybody attacks my opinion? And, in the old days, I would fight back. I would. But sibling taught me how to fight with logic. And believe it or not, that actually came through sports. How to defend myself against other people's fans. But I feel like I'm a magnet for angry people lately. And I don't know why. And I'm not saying I'm innocent, okay? Because I engage back. Instead of just shutting the hell up, I feel like I need to defend myself. And at some point, I've got to make that decision, as we all do, as we strive for this, strong self-love, to just say when enough is enough and learn to walk away. And I think that's the biggest part. Walking away is protecting ourselves. It doesn't matter what other people think about me. Several people attacked my character yesterday. They don't know me. The person that does, as far as I know, never defended me, which is also hurtful. But it kind of comes down to, it is what it is. And I'm not angry at anybody but the person that started it. And I know I'll get past it because, like I said, this is a very good friend of mine. But it was very, very hurtful. And is that the kind of people we want to be? Is that the kind of person I want to be? No. That's why usually I don't post that's why I usually don't post my opinions on certain political things. I have a little pin at the top of my Twitter that says, these are the things I support. But I just want to keep my page as positive as possible. I put an apology to all the people that do follow me for the positivity and stuff. Said, I'm really sorry this happened. I take my part in it. I take my accountability. I shouldn't have engaged. I should have just let it go or taken it private. But I will tell you this now. If you're trying to prove something to a friend of yours and you want to keep it private, send them a direct message, okay? Don't splash it all over social media. Send them a direct message. You can forward anything with a direct message as long as you're friends with each other. I don't care what other people's political opinions are. That's their choice. That's their right to have those opinions, whether I agree with them or not. But when we start saying that this person, they're just a blah, 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 who won't let other people have their opinion while they're attacking my own, just remember, when you're pointing that finger, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Okay? And like I said, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect here. I'm trying to show people that we need to be better. We have to do better. Especially in this country. here in the United States. Everybody's so fucking angry all the time. Everybody's mad. Everybody wants to fight somebody over politics. I mean, what the actual hell? What is happening to us? This country is like, what, 246 years old, all right? Yeah, we go back farther, but declared 246 years old. We have outlasted countries that have tried to do what we have done. And we've done that because we have a government and a democracy that keeps these things in place, no matter what damn party you belong to. That's why we have those things in place, so people don't try to stage coups and take over the government. So things like what's happening overseas doesn't happen, over there in Russia. I'm just going to say it. People wanting to put the USSR back together. Why? So that the fat cows can get fatter? Maybe I do sound like a certain type of people. But maybe it's because I care about humans. On the whole. Not just a certain group, not just a certain breed. Everybody. Today, right? We're more than halfway through the month. And I just found out that today, I found out that this month is Filipino Heritage Month. But it's also Latin Heritage Month. And I had no idea. I just thought it was Latin Heritage Month. I had no idea it was Filipino Heritage Month as well. But this is what I'm talking about. It's okay to love your culture. It's okay to be interested in other people's cultures. But I like what Graham Norton said in an interview I saw with him. He says, I don't think canceling is the right word. He said the right word should be accountability. And I agree. Because people change. Okay? People have been canceled over things that they did 10 years ago and have had to claw their way back up trying to figure it out. Now, I'm not saying everybody deserves to not be canceled. Okay? There are some people in this world who got away with so much shit and are finally being held accountable for it. But there's a celebrity who was tapped to do a big award show. Someone found something he said 10 years ago. 10 years ago, something he'd already apologized for, tried to make up for, realized he was wrong, took accountability for, and then all of a sudden had to do it all over again. Was that fair? Would I want someone going 10 years back on me? Probably not. I was a lot angrier back then. I was a person in pain, and I was a hurt person hurting people. Because I didn't want to feel alone in the pain that I was experiencing. And it's not easy to share that. But I know that if I share it, people can see that you can change. It took a long time for people to look at me and say, oh, I said something, is she going to react? And realize that I'm not. And then they look at me like, well, what's wrong with you? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with me. I've just changed. I don't want to be an angry person. I don't want to be that hurt person hurting people. I want to be that hurt person who is healed and helping people. That's why I'm doing the 30 days of self-love. That's why we did the 30 days of, gratitude quotes. That's why I'm going to try to find another thing that we can do for 30 days, which technically isn't 30 days because I only do them 3 times a week. Because, Wednesday and Friday have their own, really set in stone things. And so this week I'm going to have to figure out how to put Self-Care Wednesday and Self-Love Lesson number 26 together. But my point is, I guess I feel like I had to get all of that out. And I'm not sure that this was the right platform to do it but it is my perspective. And like I said, the worst thing I did yesterday was engage. I was baited and I took the bait. And I think as I talk about this now, I think where my real anger lies is in the person that put me in this position. And then kind of gave me a half-ass apology. And then tried to make it seem like everything was okay by telling me I should go, hit on the guy, basically hit on the guy who was, kind of raking me over the coals. I dated men that raked me over the coals. I don't need that again. I'm not going to say that when I do end up with someone, there won't be disagreements. But we had an agreement Saturday, my friend and I, to agree to disagree. Because we weren't going to see eye to eye on certain subjects. And I don't know if it's coming from grieving, or if it's, this is a person who says, yeah, I get slammed by the same people on the head sometimes, and it drives me nuts, and then they did it to me. And I know you might be saying, why is this a friend? Well, this friend has suffered some loss over the last year. And I tend to think that it's possible that's where it's coming from. Grieving is a scary place. It's a hard place. It's a hurtful place. It can really upend you if you have certain beliefs and other people force you into other beliefs in order to, just visit other people. There is a bit of a crooked line there, and it's hard. I don't tell people what to do. Am I vaccinated and boosted? Yeah. I do it mostly for sibling, but I think I do it a lot because I have to maintain good heart health. But what other people do with their bodies, that's not my field. I'm not here to tell people what to do with theirs. I'm not here to tell people what they should and shouldn't believe. I defend myself by what I've learned and what my research has taught me. But I don't tell people how to live their lives. I did try to fix other people's lives because I didn't want them to be as sad and pathetic as I felt. But that's what happened this weekend. Yesterday was a total shit show of a day. Even locking up my phone, that's all I could dwell on all day was how angry I was that people attacked my character that have no idea who I am. No idea who I am. And I felt like I was right back at square one with the bullies, having to defend myself and who I am. So I can't tell people how to act on social media, but I know the person I want to be. And my biggest lesson and my biggest act of having to take accountability is I have to learn to not engage. There are going to be times when you can have a decent conversation with someone. And there are times when on certain types of posts where that if you respond, it is just going to turn into the world's greatest shit show. I had to mute the conversations because literally I was in tears by the end of it. And that's when older sibling jumped. She was furious. And I thank her for that. She really tried all day yesterday to make me feel better. But I think my biggest takeaway from this is it's hard to see people so mean to one another, so angry and so hateful and spiteful. People who would start fights over fucking politics for fuck's sake, or religion. When I was growing up, politics and religion were never discussed at the table for those very reasons. I did not realize both of my parents were actually on opposite ends on both subjects. Had no idea. But we did it for that reason. Because it never ends well if you always have to be right. Somebody posted on Twitter, somebody I follow, actually with both of my accounts because their stuff is wonderful. It's a person that is healed from their own trauma. And she says I can't remember the quote off the top of my head, but it was basically talking about how we don't listen to hear and learn. We listen to reply. And I think what we need to do is learn how to listen to hear. I have sat down with people who have had completely different thoughts than I have, politically or religious wise, and we have had wonderful conversations. And both sides learned a lot. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. And when you go into a conversation and you don't need to be right all the time, it's amazing what you can hear. It's amazing what you see and what you learn. I'm still learning that. I do tend, I will admit, I do tend to knee jerk from time to time. Yesterday was one of those days. I knee jerked. Because I was so worried about somebody attacking my character that I felt I needed to defend it. But why? Most of those people don't know me. One person knows me personally in all those posts. Everything everybody else knows is summed up in my 240 character bio and my 240 character post that I pinned to my wall. That's it. That's all they know about me. They don't know shit about me. But they called me a narcissist. And they called me a person who would not let other people have their own opinions. And I muted the conversation, so God only knows what else they've said about me. And all I keep trying to do to get my head square is to remind myself what other people think of me isn't my business. And I forgot that yesterday. I was already in literally a spiral. I've been in a spiral for about a week now. And I realized a lot of it, there were just things that were surfacing after journal posts. And so it's not the worst spiral. It's actually, believe it or not, it's actually a good one. Because these things have come to light. These things have kind of like, the bottle has been shaken and all the stuff is rising to the top. Except it's exploding out faster than I can contain it. And thank you, baby sibling. I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm not a victim here. I engaged. I literally pretty much brought this upon myself. Because I felt like I needed to do the one thing I tell all of you not to do. What other people think of you is none of your business. I should have just left it alone. I should have. I'm so curious as to what this person who asked me what in the world was wrong with me. I'm so curious to see what he posted when I said, you're right, I shouldn't have engaged. My fault, lesson learned. Because if there's one thing I've learned that sibling has taught me in sports, when you tend to agree with somebody, it just knocks them off their cage or knocks them off their pedestal. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Or they come back and say, well, don't agree with me. That's usually how they rattled my cage, I admit. And I got a very good talking to yesterday. So, I got a very, very good talking to yesterday. And it was not pretty. And I was told, basically, we told you not to engage. We told you not to do this. Yes, I'm referring to my spirit guides, but I know you probably think I'm nuts when I say that. And I'm not worried about that because I know my beliefs. And I will say this, if they didn't exist, I certainly wouldn't have been yelling at myself. And I didn't get yelled at, I basically got scolded. And I was told, don't post the original post that started all this that my friend had to reply on. And then I was told, don't engage, don't react. And I did not listen either time. So for those of you who have your higher powers, your archangels, your spirit guides, listen to them. Because they know what they're talking about. But I did learn my lesson. And I literally should tattoo this stuff on my eyelids so that when I close my eyes, I can see it. I mean, on the inside. That says, what other people think of me is none of my business. Like I said, I'm upset over people that have no idea the kind of person I am. I know I'm a good person. All of you know you're a good person. You're an amazing person. If we have done things in our past, there's probably a reason why. Maybe we were hurting, maybe we were grieving, maybe we were in pain. That doesn't mean we should take it out on other people, but it does happen. Sometimes people are just naturally mean. I'm sitting here making fun of all these people or talking nasty about all these people, and they may actually be really great people in their own lives. But we're all judgmental, aren't we? I'm judgy. I proved it by saying about these people. They don't know me. So, long story short, or long story longer, but this is actually a shorter perspective than normal. We have to be better. Um, be careful. If you see something you don't agree with, use your spidey instincts. If you feel you can get yourself all the way through that thread without any damage, I can't stop you. You're going to do what you're going to do. But if you're a sensitive person like myself, don't engage. Just let it go. And remember, really remember, this has got to be like the key phrase for today. What other people think of me is none of my business. My page is my page. And I put on there what I want. And I guess when it's in a very public platform such as that, it's always possible that someone will reply. And the thing is, I'm also very careful about the words I choose so that they're not flagged as, like when people go to search things. When people go to search, oh, what's somebody saying about today? There are literally people who will search shit out just to fight with other people. And I don't know if it's because they're lonely. I don't know if it's because they're angry inside. I don't know. Maybe they got bullied as a kid. So they want to fight with someone, not realizing that they have sometimes turned into the bully. I have been a bully in my life, not intentionally. But when I was healing, I was not always a nice person. I don't think I was a terrible person, but it was hard sometimes for me to even gauge what mood I would be in when it was really, really bad. When I was really, really letting things just swirl inside of me because everything I pushed down was starting to come to the surface. When I finally got into therapy, damn, it's like I unleashed a tornado on my poor therapist. A tornado and a hurricane all mixed in as one, and a meteor shower. But it taught me something. And it taught me that person that I used to be, it was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There was this really great part of me that everybody loved, very charismatic, I was considered a social butterfly, but in private I could be very dark because I was faking it. I was doing the fake it till you make it. And there was like a whole nother side to me, and the people who were around me in those private moments, they caught the brunt of it, and it wasn't fair to them. Even if it was something that it was just a disagreement and I felt like I had to defend myself, or maybe I called somebody out on it and they felt like they had to defend themselves, I just always had to be right. Because I was tired of feeling so low. Being right doesn't necessarily make you superior. It just means you're right at whatever cost. And you have to ask yourself, is that cost worth it? Is it worth it? Is it better to sometimes say, you know what, let's just agree to disagree because it's not gonna end well if we don't. And I have to remember to go back to that. That's been my mantra for a long time. Let's agree to disagree. I will sit and listen. I will. I have learned that. And even if I disagree, I will sit there and I will listen. I will give my rebuttal. And if, we're still at an impasse and nobody wants to listen to one another, it's like, you know what, let's just stop. Let's change subjects. Move on to something new. Talk about my Padres, who I'm excited about. But, yeah, so that's that. All right. So thank you everybody for hanging in there and listening to what I had to say. I hope it came out right. I truly, truly do. I truly hope it came out right, because I don't want pity. I don't want to look like a victim, because like I said, I engaged, and that was the worst thing I did. I opened the can of worms. Somebody gave me the key and I opened that can of worms. That little, those little keys they used to have to open cans back in the old days. I don't think I ever had to do one of those, but I've seen it on TV and it's kind of cool. So, anyways, yeah. So, or either that or like a soda, right? Someone lifted the pull tab and I opened the soda. So, whoosh, not pretty. So anyways, again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Eileen. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. I really, really, that's going to make me cry. I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, let's, from my own experience as having those Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moments, let's be better. Okay? Let's try to keep Mr. Hyde all tucked away, far away, healed. You know, in my life, I like to think of Dr. Hyde as being my inner floof, right? My inner child. And when that inner child is feral, they can do damage. They can hurt people. And then when they're done and they realize what they've done, they're cowering in a corner crying because there's nothing you can do to change that. You can be a better person, but you can't erase what's happened. You can't, as sibling likes to say, you can't unring a bell. So instead of having to try to unring bells, let's just try to not ring that bell. Let's ring the dinner bell, right? Ooh, dinner bell. But, let's ring the good bells, okay? Let's do that, because I think that's what's most important. I think that's what we need to do. We need to try to be better to one another. We need to try to be nicer to one another. We don't need to be right at any cost. And I have to learn that lesson myself. I'm still learning that lesson. You would think by now I would know this freaking lesson, but I'm still learning it. So there you go. So anyways, again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you again so much for hanging in there during this. Take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Don't engage in things that just is going to make you crazy. Even if you're angry and you just need an outlet, journal. Journal it out. Journal it out. I should have done that and I did not. And like I said, ultimately, everything that happened to me yesterday, my friend may have tagged me, but I think now I realize it was my responsibility to not engage. And that's where I have to take my accountability for doing so. And I guess technically you could say I brought it all upon myself. Not a pretty feeling. Not a pretty feeling at all. But that's the truth. So again, let's be better. Let's do better. Let's be kinder to people. Treat people nicely. If they do not agree with us, it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they don't agree with us. All right? And remember, what other people think of you is none of your business. All right? Let them have their opinion, because as long as you know who you are, that's all that matters. My friend told me just now, she's all raw and honest. You spoke your truth this morning. It's all I can do. So, let's spread some sunshine today, okay? Hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be back here tomorrow with lesson number, I believe it's number 25 of self-love. Like I said, I pushed it back, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the format this week for self-love. We'll do 25 through 27. 26, I'll figure out how to work it into Self-Care Wednesday, okay? Or we'll at least just start with the Self-Care Ritual decks and then move from there. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, Pacific Daylight Time. Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch. You can catch the replays on YouTube or on my Facebook page, The Aloha Perspective. Okay? Have a great day, everybody. Thank you again for letting me just kind of have this platform today, on my platform, letting me share my perspective on certain things. I appreciate it. And remember, these are the things we need to do to really kind of protect our self-love. The more self-love we have, the less we tend to worry about what other people think of us. And as RuPaul would say, I'll close with that. If you can't love yourself, how the hell can you expect to love somebody else? Have a great day.